the pretty Instagram girl who used ChatGPT to kill. That sounds already like fucking insane, by the way. And like, what was it? Who is it about? I'm scared. I'm so scared.
Is a Florida man who murdered 2 women in a single day in 2019. He met Christine Melton at a bar, went home with her, and then strangled her in her sleep the next morning. Then he stole her car, drove it across town, spotted a woman named Diane Bruce walk into work and offered her a ride, and then killed her too. He was arrested the next day after calling his father to confess. His father had called the police. By the time his trial came around in 2024, Wilson had accumulated nearly 4,000 messages from supporters, most of them women. Love letters, explicit photos.
How? What? Like what? I never heard of this. Deadpool killer? What? I've never heard of this situation. What the fuck is that?
And one woman spent her own money buying him suits and dress shirts so he would look presentable in court. Another said she could not wait to have his children. A fundraising page even raised around $100,000, which he spent on pizza and chocolate bars in his jail, by the way. His fan group called themselves Wade's Wives, and the reason to all of that, according to women themselves, was partly that he was charming on the phone, and partly that he was, by conventional standards, attractive. Well, face tattoo including swastikas aside, but still. This is a documented phenomenon. It even has a name, hybrostophilia. Attraction to violent criminals. Ted Bundy had it, the Night Stalker had it, and...
Yeah, I was about to mention the Ted Bundy, because I remember watching, like 7 years ago. I don't know when it came out, maybe 5 years ago. Like that fixed documentary about Ted Bundy. And he had so much fucking supporters, especially from women. Even though, like, he was a serial killer who killed women. That's, like, crazy to me. I don't know. Okay.
Every few years, someone goes on trial for something genuinely horrific, and a portion of the internet decides that the killer is actually the most interesting part of the story. Now,
my fucking God.
What if the killer was a woman? In January 2026, 2 men were found dead in...
Okay. I'm predicting people will say I can fix her for sure, bro. I'm telling you, 100% this is gonna happen in this video.
Budget motels in the Gangbuk district of Seoul, about 2 weeks apart. Both in their 20s, both found alone in the morning after checking in with the same woman. Korean police had a suspect within days, a 21-year-old named Kim. No prior convictions on record. But when investigators pulled her phone, they found her ChatGPT history. She had asked the AI whether people could die from mixing sleeping pills with alcohol. The AI warned her that yes, it absolutely could, and it even could be fatal. She used that warning to increase the dosage for her next attempt. And this is what got her charged with murder. But when her photo leaked online, her Instagram went from 200 followers to over 10,000 followers in 10 days. All because she was pretty. We just established that if a woman is pretty enough to drug a man's drink, men will still beg to be her next victim. Today's sponsor successfully weaponized that exact psychological weakness. I do it too, but unfortunately my own plans for world domination were stalled by an astronomical repair bill from a localized rice fire. So today's much needed sponsor, Stella Sora. Stella Sora is a top—
Dude! What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Okay.
action RPG populated entirely by gorgeous anime girls called trekkers. The core appeal is aggressively simping for them, or manipulating their fates through a lighthearted branching storyline. Frankly, I'd let them ruin my life. You conquer mysterious monoliths through roguelite ascensions, playing as a tyrant or boss, a highly accurate simulation of my daily leadership style. The UI is smoother than my brain. Play casually for 3 minutes while waiting for pizza, or min-max your waifu team composition in challenges mode until your eyes bleed. Patch 1.9 just added a roguelike card game, Fatebound Stellar Deck S2, and Silver Veil Dreamcatcher. It
I've never
also adds
heard of this
Toha,
game.
a premium Fox Girl waifu material, just like me, or she would be, if Chad hadn't gaslit me into believing I'm a horse. This patch also includes new outfits for Chitose and Ridge that you can respectfully thirst over, and exclusive music tracks for every weapon. The event runs until May 7. Log in and complete missions for 20 free limited pulls, regular pulls, and 2 maxed out discs, and even more. Secure a Toha, add her to your harem. After the murders, one of the first things people noticed and wrote about was that her feed had about 12 photos on it. And not a single one of them showed her with another person. Every photo was a selfie, and she was also alone in all of them. One commenter wrote that she seemed like a completely normal woman her age. Pretty, well put together, she clearly had interest and wanted to date, but that out of all those photos, not one was taken with someone else. Their conclusion was that she must have been isolated for a long time, and that if she even had 1 or 2
Wait, that's so weird. Like, I have a bunch of pictures on my Instagram too. I'm not isolated. I don't post pictures with other people.
friends she could talk to, she probably would not have become whatever this was. Whether or not you agree with that read, and a lot of people did not, the observation itself stays with you. An entire Instagram feed always alone. Another peculiar thing is that the account used hashtags like hashtag follow for follow, hashtag welcome DM, hashtag follow back. The kind of tags you use when you want strangers to find you. This tag signifies that you're willing to follow somebody if they're willing to follow you back. So she would follow people she didn't know, slide into their DMs, and will report very quickly. She apparently met men this way, either online or IRL, at bars or at karaoke, and it could also be casual acquaintances, someone she had hung out with once or twice, but then she would suggest a motel hangout and offered to bring drinks. And she always brought 2 drinks, one clean and one laced with benzene. She had been prescribed for her anxiety and depression. She always left carrying the empty drug bottle. She was also, and this info came out later, a high school dropout. She had been caught shoplifting wireless earbuds among other small things, and had been kicked out of school over it. The only thing we know about her are those facts: petty theft, psychiatric medication, no close friends, and an Instagram account built entirely around accumulating and luring in strangers.
Okay, this is not what I expected. I thought it was... So, wait. So she didn't kill one person, she killed more people? Oh shit.
This is who she was before any of this happened. The first time she did this, the man survived. On December 14th, 2025, her boyfriend at the time, they had been together about a month, met through a part-time job, drove out to a bakery cafe parking lot in Namyangju to meet her after an argument. She apologized for making him drive so far and then handed him a drink she had prepared in advance. He lost consciousness inside the cafe about 20 minutes later and was in a coma for 2 days before he recovered. When he woke up and asked what she had put in it, she would not answer him. He then ended the relationship and filed an assault complaint with
2 days? Holy...
police in late January. So by the time the murders later happened, Kim was already under police investigation. She was already the subject of an active complaint, and she knew it. And yet, she kept on going. January 28th, 2026, around 9:24 p.m. Kim checked into a motel in Suyudong, Gangbuk with a man in his late 20s she had met about a week earlier. She gave him a drink. She left alone
The same drink?
hours later and texted him on her way out. "I'm too drunk, just sleeping. I'll head out first." Police would later conclude she sent that text specifically to establish an alibi. The motel owner found the body the next day around 2 p.m. The man had not checked out past checkout time, and it alerted the owner. The body, by that point, was already stiff. Police came,
Holy shit.
reviewed the evidence, and decided it was not sufficient for an emergency arrest, and they let her go. But the police
Wait,
suspected
what?
Kim strongly enough that on February 2nd, they called her in for questioning about the January death. She asked to reschedule. Personal reasons, she said. Unfortunately, they agreed and pushed the meeting to February 9th. That one
What? Wait, can they not arrest under suspicion? I think that happens in like European countries now. At least in Poland, I feel like that they can absolutely like arrest you under suspicion. No?
rescheduled interview would end up mattering enormously, and even worse, have fatal consequences. On the night of February 8th, one day before she was supposed to walk into the police station, Kim texted a man in his mid-20s, an office worker, and suggested they get a motel room and have food delivered there. Something chill, something cozy so they could relax. In South Korea, love motels are completely unremarkable. They have hourly accommodation used casually by couples or anyone who wants somewhere to go after a night out. There's usually no question asked, and it's totally ordinary and quite frequently used. The suggestion would not have struck him as anything unusual. She brought 2 drinks to the room, and she later left with the empty drug bottle. The taxi driver who picked her up afterward remembered her because she kept telling him to go faster and faster, like something was chasing her. He said she seemed unusually in a hurry. He ended up dropping her off at a convenience store near her house, as per her request. So, nowhere urgent. She then texted the man she had just left at the motel room. "I ordered a chicken and was watching a movie when you suddenly fell asleep. I told you not to sleep. You must have been tired." And then she went home and posted a selfie.
Damn! What the fuck? I mean, maybe in her head she's like the smartest person ever, but like thinking, I don't know, maybe she knows she's gonna get like catched, and she decided to like do it again. Holy fuck, that's scary. But like, how can you like take a picture like this immediately after? Interesting.
Lying down the way she usually shots them, with the hashtags, #welcome followers, #follow back mutually follow, #follow back DM, and then she decided to keep scrolling on her phone and interact with more strangers, looking for her next victim. The body of the man she had been at the motel was found the next evening, on February 10th, just before 6 p.m. by a motel employee. Police then decided to move swiftly and arrest Kim on the streets of Gangbuk that night. She was still on her phone, actively contacting more men. If the police had waited any longer, there would have been more deaths. Her last Instagram post had gone up 30 minutes before the arrest. And with cases like this, the number you know at the arrest is almost never the final number.
서울 원래 서울 놀러 와라. 근데 원래 갈라 했었으면 제가 3번째가 될 수도 진짜 있었는데 딱 마침 또 수련 애가 있어가지고 주변에서도 너 죽을 뻔했.
당시에 뜨거워진다고 술을 조금 먹었는데 갑자기 눈 아파지면서 바닥에.
Oh my god. So there's more people.
난이 꺼린다거나 그런 게 있었을까요?
아니면 그런 것도 따로.
The incident with the boyfriend in December was one. And around mid to late January, there was a man, let's call him Mr. E, who had first met Kim at a bar on January 10th and hung out with her again on February 1st, drinking together until dawn. A pretty fun and normal night by all means, except on the way home, she had asked to stop at a convenience store. Those are usually open all night. And she bought over 35,000 won worth of hangover cure drinks and had asked him to pay because she didn't have any money on her. He thought the amount was strange, but paid it anyway.
How much is 35,000 won? Like, I don't know. 35,000 won to euros. 20 euro? I mean, it's, yeah, I guess it's a lot.
After he drank the hangover cure, he claims to have lost consciousness for a few hours. She even kept on texting him throughout early February. But once she got arrested and the man saw the massive news coverage surrounding the situation, he recognized what had happened to him almost immediately. He gave a media interview and contacted the police and said he had been frightened when he put it all together, and that at some point she had asked him about his school, his age, and even his height. She was basically building a list of potential victims.
Dude, just calculating how much fucking benzo to give them. That's fucking insane, by the way. To like overdose it, but not, yeah, to basically overdose it.
This entire time. With Mr. E, that already brings the count to 2.
집이야 집집집 홈집 배터리 1% 남았을 때 배터리 아니 핸폰이 끊겨서 지금 집 도착했어.
And then there was another incident that got revealed. One from October 25th, 2025, even before the incident with her previous boyfriend. A man who collapsed at a restaurant in Seochugu while drinking white wine. The emergency call had been placed from Kim's phone number, and that's how the police linked back this victim to her. So that brought the victim count to 3. Police then started cross-referencing her Kakao Talks messages, her DMs, her Instagram followers list to find more. It is now alleged that there's potentially 5 to 10 more contacts under scrutiny.
Holy shit. Wait. Oh my god. Okay.
One criminal psychologist noted that she had bought 35,000 won worth of hangover cures at a convenience store in early February, enough for multiple people, and said there were likely more victims between the confirmed incidents that we had found, possibly even after the second murder, who simply had not come forward yet. Kim was only 21 years old, and she had been doing this since at least October. That is an insane amount of victims for someone so young. After the second murder, police decided not to release Kim's identity publicly. To understand why this became its own controversy, you need to know how South Korea's identity disclosure system works. Under the Act on the Disclosure of Personal Information of Specific Serious Crime Suspects, police can only release a suspect's name, age, and photo under specific conditions. The crime has to be considered sufficiently brutal. There has to be enough evidence, and disclosure has to
Is this not brutal? Like, what?
serve a clear public interest, such as preventing further offenses. It goes through a formal review committee, and police decided that Kim's case did not meet the threshold. Specifically, that the method used was not brutal enough by their criteria. The same system applied just months earlier.
Yeah, imagine just drinking and you never wake up again. No, bro. Every murder is brutal, no? Oh my god.
Had disclosed the identity of a man charged with attempting to stab one woman a single time. He tried to kill one person. Kim had killed 2 with premeditation and was suspected of more, yet her identity was protected. His was not. The internet pointed out the hypocrisy of this method. So when that decision came out on February 21st, by February 23rd, 2 days later, the internet had already found her and leaked her photo. Except it would not have the consequences they had expected. Someone posted to a Korean online community.
Dude, don't tell me they were like chased down as well for that. That would be crazy. Oh, what the hell? What happened? Oops.
Community with her full name, age, photo, and high school. The post hit 160,000 views by Monday afternoon. Her Instagram climbed from around 200 followers to over 10,000 followers within days. More than 1,800 comments landed on her post, a mix of harassment, doxing, and something else along those lines. Honestly, she's really pretty, lol. If it were me, I'd have drunk the drink straight away too.
Okay. Okay.
Honestly, I don't even know what she did so wrong. She's this pretty. The court should take her looks into account and declare her not guilty.
That's
No
not
matter
how it
what anyone
works.
says, I'm on your side. Stay strong. She's young and has a bright future ahead of her. It seems like she made a mistake. I'm asking for leniency. And on Twitter, after the news spread, you could find more of the same comments. What's your body count? I'm quite innocent. I have only 2. The third one got away. She's a Millennium Fox spirit descended to bewitch mortals. Only experienced Taoists like me can seal her away. I can fix her. Prison is too cruel of a punishment for such an innocent flower. I wanted to joke and say I can fix her, but honestly, there's a level of crazy that is beyond.
Okay, I'm on the bingo. I can fix her dropped in 15 minutes. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What am I even watching? Yeah, sure. Sure.
I'm the last one she needs. Trust. So remember Wade Wilson's fans I mentioned earlier? This is basically that same phenomenon, running the same script, except the killer is a young woman and the people flooding her comments are men this time. Or women that are in toxic Yuri. But what's messed up
Hey, that's not toxic Yuri, that's actually disgusting.
is that the victim's family were watching all of it in real time, horrified at all the simping happening towards the person who murdered their son. The second victim's family, however, was not going to sit idly by. They decided to file a formal petition demanding Kim's identity to be officially released by the authorities. Over 50,000 people signed similar petitions on Korean sites. Whether it was from genuine curiosity as to what she looked like or to hold her accountable, the reasons are unsure, but what we do know is that there was genuine interest into releasing her identity. Due to pressure, the Seoul Northern District Prosecutor's Office announced on February 27th that it would convene a committee to review the decision. As of the time of recording this video, no decision has been made yet. So she got charged for a crime.
Oh wait, so it's almost fucking May. Okay, not almost May, but like half of April, and her looks is not officially released yet? What the fuck?
Got rewarded with 10,000 new followers, but the account has since gone private, probably because of the ongoing investigation. But while the comments were filling up with men saying they could fix her, a different part of the internet was doing something else with the same material. They decided to meme about it. If those men didn't go out too late, this wouldn't have happened. Why were they drinking with strangers? Are we sure they didn't want it? Maybe. If they were paying more attention instead of flirting, they would have noticed the pill. Okay, but why did it...
It's so hard to notice a pill, by the way. Like, it's crazy. And this is a good reminder to maybe not take a drink from a stranger, like, directly. If you meet someone for the first time. Either woman or man, yeah.
Put themselves in a situation where they were alone with a woman? Also, I heard she's very nice, so she probably didn't do it. This is a witch trial. I met her at a networking happy hour once and she didn't seem like a serial killer. Men are always tried to ruin women's potentials. Women in male-dominated fields, we like it. I don't believe them. Men have a habit of faking coma and death for attention. We can't let this young woman's life be ruined by a simple mistake. We need the full history, because if she did something like that, a man should have done something horrible to lead her to this. She's so pretty and she's got a promising future. You wouldn't want to put that in jeopardy, would you? Has anyone checked on her mental health to see why they made her do this? We must listen to both sides of the story. They must have worn something to provoke her to do this. Why destroy a young woman's life for one mistake? A young woman taking it upon herself to cure misogyny in South Korea by going straight to the source? There used to be a name for people like that, but nowadays everyone's too emotional to say it. And there was many more.
Holy fucking shit.
comments along those lines. When women are killed or getting essayed, there's always this portion of the internet population that will victim blame or scrutinize them infinitely.
It's just fucking
things such
Twitter,
as,
bro.
what were
It's
they
just
wearing,
Twitter.
whether they should have been out that late, or whether they let him on. Women just lie to ruin a man's good reputation. We've heard those lines a lot. So those comments were trying to be satirical about this phenomenon. They were flipping the script, so to speak, using word for word what gets said about dead women applied deliberately to two dead men. Some were even asking her to be freed. Free her immediately. She's too young to have her life destroyed over such a silly mistake. Hashtag free her. She's definitely telling the truth that they wronged her. I believe her and believe she did nothing wrong. Release her or else. Free my girl. She did that shit, but I don't care. This, of course, sparked an entire other online discourse, catapulting the news to an even broader audience, turning this into a man versus woman debate. I mean, some of them are joking, of course, but she, at the end of the day, was practically being lauded by both sides. There was only a small percentage of the comments online that were seriously condemning her for her behavior. There was the men saying they wanted to fix her, that they want her as their own yandere girlfriend, and on the other side, the woman who applauded her for, well, basically being a hero, as they put it. This is insane, and although some of those tweets are generally funny on their own, when taking the situation with its full context, you realize that when someone becomes a symbol for the internet and becomes co-opted by them to push different ideals and ideology, it's very easy to forget that there are real people involved behind all of this. I can't help but think of the victim's family who are stuck watching strangers make memes about the person who killed their sons and are cheering for her. These discussions
It's fucking disgusting. Catch me up, what the fuck is this? It's a woman in South Korea that lured men into like hotels and gave them alcohol with benzo mixed together. And and they passed away during sleep. I mean, yeah, she basically like killed them like in this way. And it's crazy to me, like all murder is bad. Holy shit. You can't fix her, bro. I wonder if there's gonna be like a follow-up to this. Like what's her motives behind it, but I mean, not always we can understand it. Yeah, she's a killer, but people
sets of questions.
But of course, if it's like a woman, then people are like, "Oh yeah, I can fix her."
And debates, and the Korean press was very keen on asking those questions out loud very quickly.
장을 미리 준비하셨습니까?
자, 그럼 혼자 준비하셨나요?
살해 의도 있으셨습니까?
But although Kim had this newfound internet popularity, she still had to face Korea's judicial system and police investigation. And those guys don't fuck around. And when police took a look through her ChatGPT logs, they found some very disturbing conversations. After her first boyfriend's coma in December, police found the following conversations on her phone. What is it like to take sleeping pills and all together? Very dangerous.
Yeah, people are defending her because she's hot.
Combining benzodiazepines with alcohol can cause severe respiratory depression, loss of consciousness, and death. How much of a combination is dangerous? Can you die? Yes, even moderate amounts can be fatal, depending on the dosage and the individual. This combination should never be attempted. After ChatGPT told her it was a very dangerous combo and could lead to death, what did she do? She doubled the amount she used going forward. The police investigation described how she treated ChatGPT throughout all of this, like it was her personal assistant. She would ask it daily life questions, relationship questions, anything. After the first man died night in a motel, however, the questions suddenly turned more dark. Suddenly, they found questions about how to handle police questioning and so on. But what's even more bizarre is that throughout all of these, she was never panicking into a search bar. All the while asking these very morbid questions, she remained perfectly calm throughout the entire conversation with ChatGPT. They noted that she was having structured back and forth conversations, following up and even refining her search. All the while, she was basically asking ChatGPT how to commit murder. And in hindsight, she should have probably asked ChatGPT how to get away with murder as well, but I guess you can't think of everything, am I right? Now, here is the thing about her defense.
I mean, I think no matter how you would put it, I don't think the filters would allow you to. I don't think the filters would allow you to even check.
She told investigators she had not planned any of this. In
Wait,
fact,
she can talk faster? Yeah, she's talking quite slowly to make the video a little bit longer. I remember Rina's, no hate for Rina, but I remember her old videos or some other videos and she talked way faster. This is quite slow. I don't know why she talks like this.
she insisted she only targeted men who had wronged her. And how they had wronged her, you might ask? They had simply disagreed with her. Basically, she claimed that she had simply been carrying the medication with her. It was just random that she happened to have them on her the day of the murders. And she also argued that in each case, the man had done something to upset her. They had argued. And then she had given them the drug to make them just sleep it off. She did not know they would die.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's common sense to not mix alcohol with drugs, but sure.
She said she just wanted them to stop being a problem. Crazy, right? But police were not just relying on the chat logs to counter this. With help from a criminal profiler from the National Police Agency's Behavioral Analysis team, they conducted a 10-hour in-depth interview with Kim and put her through a full psychopathy checklist assessment. The preliminary results indicated high psychopathic traits, a lack of empathy, superficial charm, and a manipulative behavior, though not full psychopathy. She showed no remorse throughout questioning. She also described the men she killed as annoying, as people who had wronged her in minor ways. The thing that had wronged them, as we established, was simply disagreeing with her. But there
That's
are
crazy.
two problems with her story beyond that. First, she was carrying the drugs before the arguments even happened. And second, the phone contained a conversation where she had asked an AI whether people could die from exactly what she was doing, had been told yes, and then responded by using more of it. So her defense and the evidence against her were essentially the same argument. Which brings us to what makes this case legally unprecedented, and why it matters well beyond Kim. She probably thought using ChatGPT instead of Google was her being careful or smarter. No obvious keyword trail, no incriminating search history. What she actually did, though, was write her intent out in full sentences
And also, she didn't remove these conversations either. She kept the entire fucking history. So, plus, I mean, I don't think, OpenAI probably would send the data for this. But I'm sure, OpenAI has entire your conversations and
store it on a server. A forensic scientist professor named Jodu Wan explained the difference to reporters. A browser search is just keywords, and keywords can be ambiguous. Someone, for example, could type sleeping pills into Google, and that person could be a nurse, it could be a writer, it could even be a worried parent. But an AI conversation is structured sentences. The reasoning is baked right into the phrasing. You cannot ask whether doubling the dosage would make the outcome more likely to be fatal and let her claim you were just being curious. That is why her charges were upgraded from injury resulting in death, which carries a lighter sentence, to murder. a distinction that could be the difference between a decade in jail and the rest of her life for Kim. Defense lawyers across South Korea reportedly started, after this case broke, reviewing their clients' AI chat histories as a standard first step in every intake from now on. One even told reporters anonymously, "When I take on a case now, I review my clients' ChatGPT conversations with them first." But the implications go further than Kim. Kim Yeon-ju, head of South Korea's AI Safety Institute, raised a concern that is generally hard to dismiss. If investigators can access ChatGPT logs in a murder case, they can, in principle, access everything you type in ChatGPT. Every
true.
anxious 3am conversation someone had with a chatbot. Every dark hypothetical they typed and never acted on. The conversational structure that makes AI records such compelling evidence is exactly what makes them a surveillance concern at scale. He called it a future human rights dispute. And then there's the question nobody has legislation for yet. ChatGPT had warned her. It had told her explicitly that what she was describing could be fatal, but she used that warning to calibrate the dosage upward. So, does that fall into the OpenAI's problem? Ordinary products have problems.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because, like, I'm sure you can find online that, like, I mean, there's, like, maybe not tests, but hypothetically, how many, like, doses. Like, I don't want to defend OpenAI because I think they're a shit company. But, like, there's too many ways to bypass. Yeah, it's not perfect and will never be. That this is, it's the same how you can act against like those filters on every social media, on fucking Google. You can find so much evil shit if you want. There's no perfect solution for this, unfortunately, and that's the worst part.
Product liability frameworks, but AI does not fit neatly into any of that, and nobody has written the law for it yet. Kim had asked a machine how to kill someone. The machine said do not. She said thank you and did more of it, and then became viral. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this story and what could be future AI problems. Video out.
Okay. Yeah, that was weird.